can you actually prove that you are a Catholic running a Catholic business? Hi, it's Henry Katarna, the Catholic CEO. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you'll check out our website, thecatholicceo.com. We have a lot of tools there for starting your business and growing your business, particularly our 7 steps to starting your own business, a free course. We have other paid courses and other very powerful tools that can help you form a good business, because we at the Catholic CEO believe that you can be Catholic and successful in business. Today, I'd like to cover some topics about how you can demonstrate and show that you are a Catholic running a Catholic business. And these are some random thoughts that are really focused on visibly demonstrating by your actions and by your display, let's call it. So let's take a look at some of these. Here are some ideas. During your work day, many people suggest that you have available a quiet time. If you're a Catholic business with 100% Catholic employees, well, it might be quite possible for you to have a prayer time where everybody joins in a morning prayer or the noontime angelus or some other devotional focus, so that everyone starts the day asking the Holy Spirit, for example, for guidance in that day's work. If you are sensitive to the fact that you have people from other religions working for you, you can still honor the Catholic belief by having a quiet time or a prayer time or a reflection time. You can use the code words that suggest that the Catholics are going to pray and the others are going to use that time for reflection and thought and possibly prayer. Now, it's better, I think, and it takes perhaps more courage, and it's more difficult, it's more challenging to actually say, this is a business owned by Catholics and we start our workday with prayer. There are many people that do this, as you know. So let's just think about that as a possible option. Prayer time. Prayer time. Another one that many evangelical Protestants use is Bible study. And so they'll devote a certain time, perhaps, let's say during a break or during a noon hour, lunchtime, and they will actually go and have Bible study. The challenge for the Catholic, as you know, is that the Catholic uses authority to interpret the Bible. And so we have to be careful that if we're leading a Bible study at our workplace with those who wish to attend, or everybody, for example, we need to know what we're talking about. And so we need to either be trained, and very few business owners would be falling into that category, or we need to bring in somebody. So what would be wrong with inviting your parish priest to come once a week? If that's not possible, how about once a month? And have the priest lead you through the Bible study for 15 or 20 minutes, focusing on a particular book of the Bible or a particular general oversight view. So I'm all excited about Bible study for the Catholic business, and I think that it can be done quite easily. I am concerned that it be done with proper authority, though, so that interpretation is always correct and in line with the mind of the church, as we say, in the mind of the church. Another idea for visibly showing your Catholic faith in your business is the display of religious art. Once again, people seem to be very sensitive to this, and so many Catholics actually hide their Catholic faith in their business because they don't want to offend, or they're ultra cautious about what people think. But can you imagine how powerfully it would speak to your Catholic faith if you walked into the lobby of your office building or your plant or even your humble little store, and you saw a very beautiful crucifix or some beautiful icons of our Lord and Our Lady, or some other type of art that in a very gracious and powerful way portrays the essence of our religion. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? We've heard many Catholic commentators recently speaking about taking up space and visibly showing your Catholic faith, for example, by having statues in your yard, on your front steps, someplace where it's visible to the general public. What better way to show that we are Catholics running a Catholic business than having religious art actually displayed in our business, even possibly on our products? If you have a label and a brand, I wonder if it's possible for you to consider putting a Catholic symbol of some kind. The example that I've seen recently, the initials AMDG, Ad Maiorem Dei Gloriam, the Latin phrase for the greater glory of God. Imagine if you put that on your packaging. Wouldn't that be interesting? It would be a symbol. The ictus, the fish symbol, is that something that you could put on your product, which really would harken back to the earliest days of the church in the Roman times, in the persecutions, when that symbol was used as a secret signal in some ways. Now, of course, I'm talking about a public signal. But you're getting my point. Religious art is something that we should be able to use. If we own a business, there's no law against this. There's no public pressure that can be brought to bear to the faithful Catholic to display in their workplace, good quality religious art that typifies the essence of the faith. Another idea. There are many sects out there that seek set aside space, rooms or space set aside for prayer multiple times per day. You know what I'm talking about. What's wrong with the Catholic business owner running a Catholic business having some kind of prayer room, a chapel on the premises, on site, an actual chapel where people could go in? Obviously, the Blessed Sacrament may not be reserved in every particular business. That would be a super bonus if that were to happen. But let's just say you had a chapel with some chairs, a quiet space, some religious images, votive candles, perhaps, crucifix with a corpus on it, and other such tools and aids for reflection. We've talked in previous videos about the importance of mental prayer. What would be wrong with inviting your employees to take a few minutes out of their workday, and you allowing them to do this on paid time, let's say, and they go into the chapel and they sit quietly and they may read. You might have a selection of good Catholic literature there, and you may have an sort of an opening hours where it's always open, always available, and people could come in and spend a quiet moment, offer their own prayers for their own intentions, and make it a welcoming place, to use that famous phrase, the welcoming place, where anyone could drop in and spend time in the chapel. I'm going to switch now to another one that's a little bit different. It's the concept of childcare. Now, many people will say that the traditional Catholic family is aimed at having a single breadwinner, usually the father, the husband, and the wife, mother, is staying at home, perhaps homeschooling the children or assisting the good Catholic school in the education of their children. But it's not always possible. As you know, there are situations, many situations, where this is not possible, where it's literally too expensive and two people must in fact work to bring income and sustain the family. But what if you had, for example, on-site childcare? Now, I'm talking here benefits, I'm talking a cost to the business, yes, but you'll have heard me say many times in the past, let's have that sophisticated spreadsheet analysis that allows us to cost out these kind of scenarios and find out what it would actually cost to have on-site childcare for your employees. And I'm not necessarily talking about childcare with playtime. It could actually be a homeschool co-op. It could actually be some sort of Catholic teaching area where your parish priest, good and faithful nuns could come and teach catechism to the children of employees in a Catholic business. Wouldn't that be interesting? And even if that weren't possible, and I don't see why it can't be possible, but let's just say it can't be possible, what about having then the ability to bring people, allow the people to bring their children to the business, set aside a space for childcare. Yes, you'll have to hire help and so on. And it doesn't have to be 100% cost shared by the company. It could be cost shared, for example, 50-50 or on some other ratio, particularly if you're in a jurisdiction, a province or a state or a country where there's government subsidies for childcare. This often happens. And so on-site childcare, of course, you'd have to follow all the standards of the state that it, proclaims for such facilities, safety and health and all of the usual approaches. But you could also create the Catholic atmosphere. And if you have people of other faiths and other religions present in your work site, you can still do what the school system does when non-Catholics attend the school system. They can possibly, step aside from overtly religious activities, let us say. But the concept of an on-site childcare where we respect the family, where we honor the family, and where it's not possible for the family to be raised at home by a stay-at-home mother and a father who works outside of the home during the workday and then comes home later in the day to join his wife in caring for the family and raising them and getting the children to heaven and themselves to heaven. All of that usual approach, but an on-site childcare system or some other way of supporting the families that work in your business. Then turn to another idea, donations. If you're a business, you're asked quite a bit to donate to worthy causes. All sorts of charities and not-for-profits have mailing lists and phone lists, and you know what I'm talking about. You get these calls all the time at your front office, your reception area, or even directly on your cell phone. People ask you for donations. And I'm not against the idea of donating to worthy causes of a civil or secular nature. I'm not, because they can do good. They can be social good and they can be beneficial to the society at large. And that therefore means that we have fulfilled the Catholic values of the virtues of justice and charity. But what if you donated to the causes that your employees support? For example, if you have Catholic families whose children attend parochial schools or private Catholic schools, let us say, expensive as they are and complicated as that whole issue is, you know what I'm talking about. But what if they had donations from the company supporting their particular school or their particular church? What if some of your employees belong to a particular parish that has a certain need, some sort of specialty need that matches with your company? Let's say you're a construction company. Wouldn't it be great if you could support the construction project of another parish to which your employees belong, for example? What if you, speaking of homeschooling co-ops, what if you had a donation to a parish who has a homeschooling co-op, and some of your employees maybe your company's close by to such a parish, and maybe you would support that parish with some financial contribution to their homeschooling co-op or to their school or to their religious education program that they have, or any other activities that they might have, such as youth activities, good and wholesome Catholic activities. A related idea, mass stipends. This is something that is very important to people. What if you offered to your employees Holy Mass, sacrifice of the Mass offered for their intention? What if you gave Mass stipends to various priests, your own parish perhaps, to pray for the employees of your business, to pray for their families, to pray for the benefits that your business can bring to the family, such as stability of income, so that they can have a stable family life and you can therefore support the life. This is an example of what I mean. We can be Catholic and successful in business. If you run your business well and you run it financially prudently and you make profit and you build yourself your own wealth, that is your own pension plan and so on and so on, you're actually still doing good work. You're doing a social good because you're supporting all of the families that support your enterprise and that work for you. And so you can see where I'm going with this. You could offer prayers and mass stipends for their spiritual good and even their physical, natural good. Again, another related idea, gifts on special occasions. Companies traditionally will give gifts on certain occasions. And the standard thing, you've seen it before, gift cards. So you'll get a gift card to some sort of a coffee shop company that may not actually have values that are similar to that of the Catholic faith. You may find, many examples, let's call it many examples of gift cards that are out there. What's wrong with giving gift cards to a Catholic store, a Catholic bookstore, or a Catholic gift store, or a gift card to a business that is overtly owned by Catholics and that displays the Catholic symbols and where people are actually welcomed and are supported in their faith, let's say. So tailoring your gifts, your corporate gifts, whether they're token gifts, $10, $15, $20, or much more significant, special awards, special bonuses, special activities that you're going to support, where a gift card is the traditional method. You could change the tone of those gift cards to match more readily the Catholic faith. Still another related idea. It's something that I once did 20 years ago, and it was inspired by my parish priest at the time, who said to me that, the families of your employees, Henry, are sacrificing because their father, their husband, in some cases their mother, works for this business and gives a lot. They give more than is required. And it's not that we try to have people work excessive overtime, certainly not. We try to support the Catholic family. But the concept of the family itself, knowing that every day a parent leaves the house, goes to work, works for a company, gives of their time and effort, and then comes home and perhaps talks about the business and the company and what happened that day and so on. It's the normal family life, as you can imagine. Anyway, the story is that 1 year at Christmas time, I wrote a letter to the families of my key executive management team. So it's to be 5 or 6 people, key executives, each with a different specialty. But I wrote a letter personally tailored to that family. And I said, I want to thank you for the sacrifices that you make, probably the ones that I don't even know about, for your father and your husband, in that example, to come to the work, do the work, travel, take care of situations, respond in cases of emergency, step up when the time has come to step up. And I wrote this simple letter of thanks to the family. And I'm telling you that I'm not trying to take credit for my own idea here. The parish priest was brilliant in his observation about the sacrifice that families make. But there were tears. One person wrote me such a beautiful note. Another one phoned me and said how much it meant to them to have the simple fact of a letter land on their doorstep, in their mailbox, from the boss, from the leader of the business, thanking them for their sacrifice. And also, by the way, honoring the contribution of their dad, of their husband. It was quite a thing. And so a generous act of kindness like that, an expression of human warmth, we know we should do that, but maybe we should do it better. Maybe we should do more of it. I'm going to also mention related topics. That story is about a Christmas letter. But what if you honored and marked the special occasions in the Catholic family life. Let's say you hear, because you'll know your employees, you'll talk to them, you'll understand what's going on in their lives to some extent. What if somebody has a First Holy Communion or a confirmation or a baptism or a marriage or something that goes on in their family, an ordination, a profession of religious life, something like that, some special event like that? Wouldn't it be amazing if you wrote a letter of congratulations, or if you sponsored an event or made a contribution towards the beautiful festival event that's going to happen, maybe the reception or the lunch or the dinner or any other kind of event activity that's going to mark that event. If the company then were to mark that and help honor that person or the situation, this could be a gesture that would be very well received, but it would also indicate that you support the Catholic life in the life of your employees. And so it's an idea for your consideration, which then also relates to the concept of family events. So, many companies have regular employee events, once a month or once every week or something like that, barbecues, picnics, sports events, sports days, family days, ball games, all sorts of things. People take their employees to the ballpark. They take them to events. They take them to the go-kart racing track, all these sorts of ideas. But what if you sponsored in your own way events that were not only beneficial for the employee and looked after and sort of honored them and provided social time and opportunity for employees, but were more overtly Catholic? So what if you had a Catholic type of event for your employees? Particularly if you're 100% Catholic employee company, you could have an outdoor picnic situation. You could have a priest come and offer mass outside, Holy Mass outside in a picnic setting. You could have children's activities, family activities, and you could do potluck style, or you could have company paid style approaches where you're giving generously, but where you're supporting family life. And so in all of these ideas today, in this particular video, I'm trying to suggest ways that we can be overtly Catholic in our business and show not only the public and our customers and our suppliers and our employees that we are Catholic and that we are proud of our faith and that we want to live it publicly, which is, of course, the mission. That is what we're supposed to do. But all of these ways, whether they're internal to the company or external with the family and with others, they show that we want to be Catholic. We want to support family life. We want to support Catholic activities. All of these ideas are possible, and there are many more. I hope that they stimulate some thought in your mind as well. I've got 2 other videos planned where I have many more such ideas. And my next one, I want to mention this in advance, is I'm going to speak about the problem, the challenge of when the culture throws at you events and lifestyle things that they want you to support. That's a big dilemma. That's a challenge. And I want to tackle that with you next time. Thanks again for joining me today. This is the Catholic CEO, Henry Catarna.